into it, everyone was sort of like, well, we've got to keep that spirit from the original show while also creating something new for new audiences to come in and join this Dexter universe. So it's been a really special thing to be a part of, and it seems like everyone's really liking it so far. So, yeah, it's been getting some great reviews, and anyone who hasn't watched, I'd say please go watch it.
And Victoria, can you tell us a bit about your character, Tiffany? How does she come into this sort of world? Is she centered around the Morgan family? Has she got close ties?
Yeah, absolutely. So my character Tiffany is in a big dispute with Deb, who is Dexter's sister. And Deb and I play on the volleyball team together, and we go to high school together. So we really get to see sort of that feud that's going on between both Tiffany and Deb throughout the entire season.
Okay, fantastic. And Victoria, how did this opportunity come about for you to get cast in Dexter Original Sin?
Yeah, so I got the audition back in May and I submitted my videotape and then I got word that I was being pinned for the role and then I actually was on a road trip in Yellowstone and I had no service, but I knew it was around the time that I was going to be hearing back. So in the middle of driving up and down these mountains, I got a call from my manager and she said that I got the role. So I started about a week or so after that.
And tell us, Victoria, where was it shot in terms of location? Where did you do most of the filming for your scenes? And were yours most of your scenes on this on a studio lot, or was it outdoors in location in terms of block shooting?
Yeah, a lot of my scenes were shot on location, so it was all throughout LA. We shot at high school that actually Clyde Phillips went to. The showrunner and creator of Dexter, he went to that school, and so we got to shoot there, which was super cool. And then we were shooting on some volleyball courts. We were practicing volleyball throughout different local community colleges in LA. And yeah, most of my scenes were shot at that school or outside of the school.
And I spoke to Chandler Lovell, and she told me that volleyball camp was an intriguing experience, learning the sport and to mimic what it was like to be a professional volleyball player. I assume you went through that same camp, and how did you find it? Did you find it a bit tough, the whole volleyball thing, or did it come naturally to you?
Yeah, well, it was definitely hard, and I have a background in dance, but I haven't done a whole lot of sports for a long time. So, going in, I was so nervous, but it really made me feel better that none of us had any volleyball experience. So it was me, Chandler, Raquel, and Molly, and it was just the four of us with a couple coaches and some college volleyball players. And they were just so kind and so helpful for us. None of us had any idea what we were doing, but it was very helpful to train with some people who are really, really great at volleyball.
Okay, and Victoria, in terms of the experience working an all-star cast, Patrick Gibson, Christian Slater, Sarah Michelle Gellar, to name a few names, how was that whole experience?
Yeah, it was pretty surreal and just really great how kind and welcoming they were to everybody. I mean, especially the people that I got to talk to quite a bit were Patty Gibson and Christian Slater, and they just are such kind, wonderful people and so great at what they do and what they bring to these characters. Because I mean, they have characters that were in the original show. My character is new to Original Sin, but the way that they were able to keep that same spirit from the original show and their original characters, but also bring themselves to it is I really unbelievable and really, really great. And they're just such kind, lovely people.
And in terms of your own character, Tiffany, and in terms of looking ahead, obviously hopeful and anticipation of future seasons down the line, do you think there's a good arc, a storyline to her character, and maybe stuff that is kept in the closet so far that might be like lead to a potential blossoming throughout further seasons? Are you sort of hopeful, given the rave response, that this could be an opportunity that might span for one or two seasons more?
Yes, I'm definitely super hopeful for another season, and I haven't heard yet if they've made a decision about it, but I think that there's a lot of room for this story to grow, and even for my character too. I mean, some stuff happens that's pretty big in the next few episodes coming up with between Deb and I. But from there, I feel like there's a lot more that they can explore with both the backstory of Deb and the backstory of Dexter, and I think there's a lot of room between now and the original show. I mean, there's about 15 years, so lots of things that can happen.
And Victoria, before we came on air, you mentioned two other projects that you had in the pipeline that might be coming our way in 2025. You might enlighten our audience a tiny bit about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of them is called Perpetual Perfection. It's a full-length film that I wrote, produced, and acted in. It's going to be coming out this spring. And then another project that I've worked on is called Europa. And this is an experimental short film collaboration with Sony. And I worked on it alongside a lot of people that I went to school with at USC. And through that film, it's about a woman who goes to explore a new planet called Europa, and this planet starts to talk to her, and I play the voice of that planet.
Okay, fascinating. And I suppose it's Victoria Martzloff. I'm going to turn it over to you now for the final 30 seconds. And you might enlighten all our audience, all our listeners. Why did you tune in if they haven't tuned in all already to Dexter Original Sin? And when they do, Victoria Martzloff, when they do check it out on Paramount Plus, whether they go back to the start or if they've been watching the episodes so far that have been released, what's in store for them?
There's a lot in store. There's a lot of surprises. There's a lot of mystery. There's a lot of thrill. This season captures the original tone and craziness from the original show, but it's also a great launching point for people who haven't seen the original show, who can watch Original Sin and then watch the original series if they like it. And then there's also a sequel called New Blood that is out. So there's a lot of room to watch Dexter if you haven't seen any of it already. It's really such an exciting show. Every single person I know who has watched it is on the edge of their seat for almost every episode, waiting to see what's going to happen. And I would really encourage everyone to please watch it.
On that note, all that's left to say is from me, Jim Conlan, a special thank you to our special guest this evening. She plays the role of Tiffany for so far a recurring role in the iconic new TV hit show Dexter Original Sin on Paramount Plus, alongside Patrick Gibson, Christian Slater, Molly Brown, Patrick Dempsey, Michael C. Hall, and Sarah Michelle Gellar. From me, Jim Conlan, to you, Victoria Martzloff. Stay safe, take care, and God bless.
Thank you so much.